Hey YouTube, it's Michael from Asymmetrical Preparedness. Today I was just thinking about some SHTF scenarios. What might happen? There's a lot of them out there. A lot of people talk about them. I just thought I'd cover some that are on my mind. Um, and I don't want you to get you all stressed out and worried about these things happening. If they're gonna happen, they're gonna happen. I mean, it's just the way it is. So that's why I preach preparedness. I preach doing a little bit every day. I preach just, staying positive and doing your best. Okay, so don't get freaked out. I'm not trying to do some doomer porn here, just to throw some ideas out. Probably already heard all these before. Just wanted to talk about a couple things, that I think about, that I prepare for, quote unquote. I just do general preparedness, really. I don't prepare for a specific event. Um, some of these events would be EMP, financial collapse, um, foreign invasion, super volcano, you know, flooding, hurricanes, tornadoes, earthquakes, fires. Let me see. What are some other ones I wrote down? Civil war. There's a lot of different things. Global pandemic, or even a pandemic in the United States. There's a lot of things that people think about. It could be a nuclear reactor meltdown. It could be, lots of different things people think about. Um, Nirbu, which I don't really know much about that. Some big rock hitting hitting the United States, or hitting the planet or something. I don't know. I don't really get into too much stuff like that. But it's, in my mind, it's best to just prepare in general terms. Um, Especially, like, I see a lot of extremes when it comes to pandemics, and that freaks the heck out of me, because that's one of my weak areas. We can't you can't really prep effectively for a pandemic. I see people, I used to watch that show Doomsday Preppers. I love that show, but man, a lot of it was so stupid. There were a lot of dumb things I saw on there, and a lot of people showing way too much stuff that they shouldn't have for OPSEC purposes. It's just that show blew my mind. I loved it, because every once in a while I got an idea, or it helped motivate me. So I loved that show, but it was what it was. So I saw people, preparing for pandemic, and they had all the suits and the, respirators and the gas masks and all this stuff like that. And I'm sitting here thinking, oh yeah, there's another one, a nuclear war. I was thinking, okay, you have the stuff. You have gas masks. Well, how many filters do you have? Do you know the lifespan of the filters? Well, depending on, what is that dependent on? That's dependent on a lot of things. That lifespan of a filter is due to a certain saturation of the environment, of the certain whatever it's designed to protect against. It doesn't mean that there could be less in the air, or you're breathing in less, which the filter would last longer. It could be more saturated, meaning the filter could just get clogged and inundated with particulates or whatever it's supposed to defend against very quickly, and you could run out of filters super quick. That, to me, that's just not an effective way of doing things. You can't just live your life in a gas mask. You got to take it off. You got to eat. Drinking, yes, you can get done with a gas mask. There's straw systems, stuff like that. But then you got contaminated water. You got, all kinds of things, man. That is something that is very, very, very difficult to prep for. I have some general stuff that will help, in it, plastic sheeting. I do have, some stuff that will help. But it's one of those areas that the best defense is get to a low population density area, because then it won't be spread as easy if it's a human spread disease, or if it's an airborne contaminant. If you get way back up in the mountains somewhere where there's nobody, well, the odds are of you getting, hit by it are pretty unlikely. If it's a chemical attack, then you're a lot less likely, because nobody's going to attack these very sparsely populated areas. They're going to hit the urban centers, the population dense areas. This is another thing like Pastor Joe of Viking Preparedness talks about, Kumpf, come out of her, my people. Get out of the cities, get out of the urban areas, get to rural areas. I live in a fairly rural area. I would like to Kumpf more, get myself out somewhere super rural, get on a homestead, stuff like that. I live, like I said, pretty rural, but, I still have, neighbors around me, stuff like that. I kind of see their houses through the trees, kind of thing. Everybody has property, but it's not ideal. So, yeah, super low population density, mountainous areas, whatever. Just get away from people, and you have a lot less chance of having to worry about stuff like that. And that applies for a lot of these things. That's why people set up rural homesteads. They don't set up homesteads in downtown LA or New York City and stuff. So general preparedness, getting out low population density areas, is the best idea for any of these things that might come. Another one would be, EMP. Okay, EMP, power grid goes down. Get stuff and prepare for that. Get stuff like hand tools, manual flour grinders, manual meat grinders, um, lanterns, stuff that you can do and that will work regardless of the power. Now, a lot of people talk about EMP and they talk about, oh yeah, it's going to wipe out all computers and all vehicles are just going to stop dead on the road. Well, first off, but people realize, I think, that older vehicles that are not run by computers will still work just fine. But even newer vehicles, EMP isn't 100% effective. It's not going to wipe out every single vehicle. It will wipe probably most of them, but some vehicles may still work. So you may actually have a vehicle that still works. As far as EMP proofing your vehicles, I think there might be ways to do that. I'm sure there are. I don't know if they're expensive. Don't really know much about that. Maybe I'll look into it and try doing it myself and see, what my results are and post a video about it. I don't know. That's not really high on my priority list. I can make do without vehicles. Would it be optimum? No, it wouldn't. It would suck. Life would suck. You'd have to do everything by hand, and bugging out would, for most people, it would probably be a non-issue at that point. You pretty much just have to bug in, make do with what you have where you are, with the people around you, make the best of your situation, which is probably the best in most situations, unless you get a heads up of an early warning kind of thing and you have a bug out location that you control, you own, stuff like that. I know TJ, Bear Independent, talked about bug out locations and the optimum or the effectiveness of them, and on a scale of of how effective it would be. Do you own the property? Do you control the property? Meaning, do you have security measures in place? Do you go to the property enough that people aren't there, and won't beat you there when SHTF? Things like that you got to think about. It's not just owning a property in the middle of somewhere. Do you have buildings there? Do you have it set up? Do you have food storage? Stuff like that. If you get an early warning, and depending on how far away your bug out location is to you, whether or not you can be able to get there. What kind of choke points are there? What kind of roads are there? What kind of bridges are there? I have a bug out location. It's a ways away though, so I don't really count on ever being able to be there unless I get an early warning, a heads up, where my family and I decide, okay, this is going on, so I think it's going to lead to this. Let's get there now, and then we get there. And then, we'd be fine. We'd have our own difficulties based on the remote location, but we would deal. We'd still be better off than being stuck in a, not an urban, but a less than ideal area. So, back to EMP. There's electronics. Faraday cages. You can make Faraday cages. You can get metal trash cans with rubber lining. Set them up on rubber mounts, stuff like that. Seal the can with the aluminized tape. There's a lot of videos out there that talk specifically about this. I'm no expert on Faraday cages, but it's a good idea to keep your stuff in them. If you have a portable handheld radios, ham radios, stuff like that. FRS, GMRS, maybe a CB or two, solar chargers, flashlights. Stuff like that. I don't think flashlights are really would be messed up, because it mainly fries electronic microcircuitry, not electrical stuff. So, but like our electrical grid is controlled by computers. So the grid would go down, Maybe not all of it. I don't know. All this preparedness and what's going to happen and what's going to go down is pretty much just hearsay. People what they think, what they want. Nobody actually knows. Nobody knows what's going to go down. The only entity that knows is Him. Heavenly Father knows what's going to go down. No human does. So all we can do is, like I preach, general preparedness, fitness, all that stuff. Another one is foreign invasion. Okay, if it's a foreign invasion, it's on. Totally different ball game. Then we're going to be forming up militias. Mags will be active, tribes, all this stuff like that. Joe Bob and his hunting rifle. Everybody will be out defending the United States of America. And more than likely, of course, they'll hit urban areas. So people need to get to low population dense rural areas so that we can form up militias, form up an effective fighting force so that we can strike back. And no, we wouldn't be able to strike back except for the U.S. military would be fighting the conventional style warfare. We would be fighting asymmetrical warfare, guerrilla warfare, fourth gen warfare, whatever you want to call it, which is strike hard, strike fast, and get the heck out. We'd be setting up ambushes, doing a quick strike, dumping a mag, setting off some, whatever you have that's better than just small arms, and then running away. Hit and run tactics. That's all that we would be able to do, as until maybe the war, someone progressed and we built strength and got better equipped, better armament, stuff like that. And but yeah, pretty much guerrilla style warfare would be IEDs. It would be basically the way the Taliban, we hear about the Taliban fighting. We would become them. We would be faced with a foreign invader, which is the same thing they have. We're the foreign invader there. So, Joe, little guy farmer out in the middle of the mountains of Afghanistan, he doesn't know anything about politics on the world stage. He doesn't even give a crap about the country of Afghanistan. He cares about his tribe, which is what we need to care about. We need to care about our country also, but, they have no concept of nationalism. They're tribalism. They're tribalists. That's why you can't nationalize a bunch of tribes. It takes a long time. You might be able to, of course, because all nations rose out of tribes first. But that happened over hundreds of years, if not thousands of years. So we would basically be in a tribal situation. We would fight back, we would do what we could, and in that situation, there wouldn't be any rules. There are no rules of warfare. We would do whatever it took to defend our country, fight for our country, defend it, and win it back, and repel the foreign invader that doesn't belong here. We as Americans are strong. There's a misquote by Admiral Yamamoto that there's a rifle behind every blade of grass in the United States, and that's why he didn't want to invade the United States. That's not true. He never said that. Look it up. It was a misquote. But that statement still, that quote still stands. There, pretty much a rifle behind every blade of grass in the United States if we had a foreign invader. It would be a Red Dawn scenario, which, as growing up as a kid, man, that was my favorite movie. I love Red Dawn. My buddies and I, we trained for Red Dawn, and we were going to fight the Russians when they came and stuff, and we were just a bunch of little kids running around the woods and stuff, and it was so funny. I must have watched that movie hundreds of times. Loved the original movie, not the remake. But yeah, and would we win? I don't know. It depends on the situation. It depends if we were weakened first, if we were, EMP, and then crap hitting the fan, and then all the unrest in this country, people killing each other, stuff like that, and then our enemy would sweep in when we're weak. I don't know. I mean, if I was our enemy, that's what I would do. But anyway, enough on that topic. So we got EMP, we got foreign invasion. Okay, civil war. Everybody's talking about that right now. Are we going to have a civil war in the U.S.? Well, we already are in a civil war in the U.S. It's just not a shooting war. It's a war of hearts and minds. It's a war for masculinity. It's a war against religion. It's the war that the liberals and the left are waging against conservatism, high moral values, standards, people of faith, people that believe in the Constitution and that believe in this nation and nationalism and strength. They believe in weakness, socialism, and taking over us, wimpifying all of our males, feminizing our males, and putting out weak females also, weak-minded people. They want us in our mom's basements playing Call of Duty and caring about the latest cell phone or the latest smart TV or the latest app and stuff like that. They don't, the stuff that I don't give a crap about. I don't have technology. I don't give a crap about technology. It's amazing I can figure out how to run my cell phone here to do these YouTube videos. That's why I don't edit. And I'm real. I don't edit everything. It's not cut. Every once in a while I hit the pause button because, kids need my attention or something like that. But I'm not technology. I don't do technology. I don't have smartphones. I do have a smartphone, but I don't have smart TVs. I don't have all this stuff, listening devices in my home, monitoring everything I do. I'm sure it still happens. My smartphone's picking up on everything. I know. But, what can you do? Some things are just you kind of need in your life. And this enables me to reach out to people, empower people, and hopefully awaken some people, and if not, strengthen and lift up those that are already awake. And to me, that's more important. So I'm willing to make that sacrifice, the possible risk. What are some other ones? Okay, so your natural disasters. Okay, natural disasters happen. Period. All we can do is prepare for them. And if you're in a situation where it's like tornadoes or maybe flooding or fire, I don't know, you need to prepare per your situation. I know in the Midwest, tornadoes, a lot of people have tornado shelters, aka storm shelters, bomb shelters, whatever you want to call it, underground. That's an awesome idea. Keep your preps there. Build one way bigger than you need. Don't just build one for you guys to sit in. I mean, yeah, your lives are more important, but have it pretty decent size if you can. Add on to it if you can, if you already have one. Build another one. That's a great idea. And they can be used for fighting holes and fighting positions if it came down to it. Good secure locations. I would totally, if I was going to build my house, I would totally have those no matter what part of the country I lived in. I would have some kind of basement root cellar, storm shelter. That's an awesome idea. So it depends. But then if you're an earthquake country, I don't know. You just need to prepare how you can. Earthquakes, it's not as big a thing like if a flood comes through here and takes your whole house down the river. I mean, and there's all your preps. So store preps in different locations, bug out locations around different areas. Maybe create stashes in trees. I don't know. Whatever you can brainstorm. Think about what's best for your situation, your area, and what natural disasters happen in your area are most likely scenarios. I don't have all the answers, and I haven't lived in all the areas that have different forms of natural disasters than I'm used to. Super volcano, if that goes off, so that air quality, get as far away from it as possible. I guess a lot of people will be dead in the area. It would do a lot of damage. It would make it very difficult to breathe. We shut down engines on vehicles. Do a lot of stuff like that. And these are just things to think of. I don't have all the answers. Never said I had all the answers. Economic collapse. That's one thing. One of the ones that I think is very viable. That has a very good chance of happening. And with that said, if the economy collapses, then it's going to affect everybody, and we're going to have a big SHTF scenario because people are going to be running out of food. People will be trying to, looting, rioting, attacking each other, fighting, gangs, all kinds of stuff. We're going to de-evolve, and people are going to be fighting for food. That's why I recommend growing your own food, raising your own animals for meat, meat production, eggs, stuff like that. Please do what you can. Even if you're in an apartment, plant in pots, in your windowsill. It's not much, but at least it's something, and then prep some. Have a bug out location. Have a farm. Live on your homestead. Optimum situation. Just prepare as much as you can, because one of these scenarios, and it could be something that your personal SHTF scenario could be you losing your job, getting fired, having a traumatic injury that doesn't enable you to work anymore. Then you have peace of mind. You know your family's going to eat. Paying the bills, it may be a different situation, but you're going to eat. You're going to be able to live, and you're going to be able to drink, and you're going to be able to take care of your family if you have proper preps. So it could be anywhere from personal to EMP to foreign invasion to fire raining from the sky, whatever. general preparedness. Just think about different things. Have, you know, a wide variety of preps, medical, um, food storage, ammunition, magazines, firearms. Get training in all the things that you have. Learn new skills. I had a video about prepper skills. Um, Go back and watch that. But some different ideas of skills that you could be learning now to improve your chances post-event. Get the things for those skills. Train on them. You know, if you know how to shoot, well, it's not just good enough to go shooting once or twice a year. Get out and train. Get some tactical training, some real training, dynamic environments, reactionary training. Go to some of these tactical training schools where they have more stuff like squad attacks, patrolling, all this stuff like that. And those, I'm talking to the people that would be the gunners, the boots on the ground out there running and gunning. I'm not talking about the old people. I'm not talking about the handicapped or stuff like that. If you're able to run and gun and you're young and you're healthy and you're strong, get more physically fit. Be stronger. Get the training. Get it done. Do your best. Prep a little day every day, no matter who you are. Even if you're in a wheelchair, you can do curls. You can do something. I guarantee it. I've seen bodybuilders, well, a bodybuilder at least I can think of, it's in a wheelchair. He doesn't have any legs. I'll tell you what though, his arms are way bigger than my legs. You know, he is freaking buff and ripped, huge muscled. So, you know, people can do it. You know, no matter what what you're up against, you can overcome it. It's just, you know, keep your head high, be positive, know the Heavenly Father loves you, do what you can every day, just a little bit, exercise, eat healthy, whole, natural foods, don't be afraid, prep out of peace of mind, please. I love you guys, and I want to get the word out. I want to wake people up. I want to wake more people up. I want people to empower themselves, to take care of themselves, and not rely on the government. Nobody's going to take care of you better than you can take care of your own and yourself. So please lift yourself up. Do the things. Spread the word about the channel, please. Please subscribe if you like my content. Hit the like button. Hit the little bell for notifications. I think YouTube kind of went through and took like 10% of my members, my subscribers. So, you know, I'm not going to quit though. I don't care. They can take what they want. I'm going to keep on putting out videos, keep on putting out good content. I want to be there for you guys. I enjoy this. I think it's a lot of fun. And I'm not perfect at it. I think I'm getting better. Are there better YouTubers out there? Yeah, of course. But, you know, I'm hoping to have a little bit of a niche. And I enjoy doing this, like I said. It's fun. YouTube's probably never going to monetize me anyway, so I don't care about that. I don't fit into their liberal agenda. They don't like what I say. People like me and people like you. So please comment below if you have any suggestions. Spread the love. Share my videos, please. Get the word out. And check out other prepper channels also. Give them love. Subscribe to them, you know. Make comments on their sites. Let's get, you know, spread the love. All these, you know, gun channels, conservative channels, prepper channels. Show them all some love. Don't, you know, I'm not about just me. It's not just about me. It's about the community. And we need to uplift our community. We need to be subscribed to as many other channels as possible. Come on, let's spread that love. Let's do it. You know, stay positive. Stay happy. And just do the things. Please. I love you guys. And blessings.